All right, greetings everyone on this Wellness Wednesday. It is good to be here, to be back in 2025, y'all. It's I, Dr. Chef, also known as Dr. Felicia Ann Hill. I am a naturopathic practitioner, health coach, counselor for all different type of things that cause you all to have any type of wellness imbalancement, okay? And this time on Wellness Wednesday is set for you all from 4 p.m. approximately to anywhere between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., depending on how much information I have to share with you all. This is also your free time to get your health and wellness questions answered, especially in 2025 for this first month of this year. I know there are so many that are practicing different health regimens and what you all call, or the American people call, diet. I do not like that term, so I have changed it as a few years ago to be called a heal it, because we need to heal our bodies. We don't need to be practicing dieting from anything. So I don't like that type of marketing. We all know that there are far too many of our people that have tried diets, and so many have died from it. So, as a naturopathic practitioner and wellness coach, I believe that this is most definitely my call, and I've been chosen to make sure that I do my part with sharing the information and experience and the knowledge that I have acquired within the past 30 years with how to help our people learn how to fast, how to eat to live. And that's the reason why this Wellness Wednesday, it will be different from those of you all that are tuning in now. So just for the record, so if you usually tune in and out and you get distracted, this is one for the first Wellness Wednesday that I've done for this year. This is one that you most definitely want to stay tuned to, because you all know I usually go, for those who's tuning in now and later, don't forget to like and share. That's so important. And make sure that you subscribe, because this year is going to be different. In order to help you all to thrive and survive in 2025, I plan to make sure that I provide you all with more information that you need in order to help you to be successful at that. I'm not satisfied and I'm not happy. I'm not content with our people being destroyed for the lack of knowledge, especially in times like this. And so this Wellness Wednesday, I will be sticking more to the point of what we need to be discussing, and that's fasting, because so many of our religious people, so many of our people that are here in this world today believe in a New Year resolution, and most try to do that by changing how they eat to live and not just to die. Most of us that had any form of diseases prior to this year, this is usually the time frame between January and March that many try to find something that works for you. Well, on this Wellness Wednesday, I'll be tackling all of that, and I will stay on task. It won't be as many testimonies and as many other subject matters this time around. So for those of you all that know anyone that would like this information, please like and share, especially to our religious brothers and sisters, because I know that it's been made more and more popular from those who practice different type of spiritual belief systems. Okay. And so also this is now open for a lot of negativity and any forms of, oh, well, I did this and I did that. You have your freedom of speech to be able to make comments and say what you like. However, just know that because I believe in having a good spirit and bringing forth more positive vibes and just giving us good, healthy things to think about when we are failing in areas that's very vital to our existence, I don't entertain it. And so thankfully, I'm thankful that for the past few years that I've been coming before you all, that really has not been an issue, because it starts with me as the deliverer to you all of the wealth of knowledge and information that I've been blessed to be able to have to share with you all from my whole heart, in order to help you all and your family and those who you share this information with. All right. And so I'm glad to see you all. Anyone that would like to comment, in and let me know where you are, what state you're from. That's always good and helpful. As you all see, if you go into the chat now, I do have it set up for the information that we'll start off on, as far as any information you need, as far as the 61800 number that you all need to apply for your special for the $25 that I have. I'm only charging for your health consultation, and that includes mental health issues, that includes childhood trauma. That includes whatever diet that you're on and you want to be included in the Heal It plan that Dr. Chef I have set for you. And that's a personal plan for you that includes all different type of things. I mean, I don't know any other right now that provide the multiple facets of different type of wellness consultations the way I do. However, I'm just thankful that I'm able to provide those for you all. And then also I have here where I'll be sharing with you all right off back, because I know a lot of people's attention spans don't last past about 20-30 minutes. I know, because I finally got a chance to check the algorithm to see how long most people stay on. And however, I can allow that because your 20-30 minutes may be after I've been in for an hour. It will vary depending on people's work schedule and things of that nature. And so as of right now, I'm not trying to deprive our people from the information and the time that I've been allowed to set aside to give you all free health and wellness services from a spiritual, natural, and to your whole soul perspective. Okay. And so we do have, I'm going to start off real briefly with what I do have, my own personal Dr. Chef Botanical Sea Moss that you all can use. Yes, it's on the rise. A lot of people are selling it, but I made sure that I did my own homework to make sure that I have tested good quality, high quality sea moss that will help you all with all different forms of everything. And that includes for those of you all that are fasting when you decide to eat. This would only help aid you in getting rid of the extra mucus for those of us who's in the climate where we are dealing with cold, flus, mucus due to the change of our weather. This is one of your 92 to 102 minerals that we highly recommend for those of you all that are able to consume it, which it seems like it's a lot of people, because now, as we all see, it's very popular, and it's popular for a reason. It's popular because it works. Okay. And then I still have some moringa in stock, organic. This is one that's hard to get in, to keep in stock, you all, if you're not coming from those parts of the world where they provide good, powerful moringa. I will be discussing the power of these things because so many forget all of the benefits that you have. And when you're practicing things like fasting, that's the reason why I labeled it the fasting part 2. So this is a segment that you all want to make sure that you click to save and to be able to share with other people that's struggling and that don't want to have to struggle because of maybe your church, maybe the organization you're a part of, or maybe you're solo and you just you feel that you need a little bit more extra boost and support in how to go about this without having this process that we're starting off on with 2025 to be so stressful on you. I like to simplify this for you all and give you and provide to you all different other type of things that you can do that's all natural, that's very helpful, that comes with the minimal, if not at all, any bad side effects for yourself. Yes, that exists. They have made a lot of money. This is $1 trillion industry. Don't believe them when they say billion. It's $1 trillion industry, if not more, that causes us to stress and be all over the place. And I'm going to tackle that in this segment. I'm going to tackle that for this Wellness Wednesday. And it's the reason why, guess what, you all? You know, I normally freestyle. No, I didn't. I got quite a bit of notes that I've taken down throughout the years. And I won't just be reading information from different things that I've already written down. I'll be reading from the How to Eat to Live Part 2. I will be giving you all scriptures from the Bible for those of you all that believe in the Word of God. And I will also be giving you some feedback and information and then that includes what I have seen for the past 30 years of what's causing our people to struggle and what causes us to fail. I will be implementing all of that within this first hour or two for you all. And that also means that you still get a chance to ask questions. And I will be limiting how much I explain because I want to stay on task here, because I realize how critical this is. And I do realize that there are so many out there that already have, and you go on YouTube, you see so many people that's already talking about fast and how to fast this, how to fast that. However, I think that God has given me a unique way of how to deal with our people and how to share with you how to eliminate some of the stress that comes when you're trying to get something down packed to the T that would be highly beneficial for your health and wellness. Okay. And that benefit means that it will be psychological. It will help you mentally as well. So I like to tackle things from its core, not from off of the surface. This will not be just about losing weight. It will be about losing waste, toxic waste that comes to affect your mind, body, and your whole soul. If you have sold your soul for whatever reason, then you may be able to even get your soul back, because of all of the evil things that have been done to trick our people and all of us throughout the world concerning how we must eat to live. Okay. And fasting is a critical part of how we can do that, even when you don't have the perfect healing plan for yourself and for your family. This means those who are heavily on medication. This means also, because I am also a certified drug counselor, just for the record, I do have my years of health and wellness training. Oh my goodness, for the past 20 years. I have my own testimonials of how I've been healed through fasting, from a religious standpoint, from just some health and wellness standpoint, and even from the professional standpoint. And so prayerfully, if you all be patient with me on this Wellness Wednesday, you all are going to be able to have a mighty good treat this time around. And I am open to doing a part 2 come next Wellness Wednesday, because I realize most of us dedicate this month, some start in December, but most actually start in this month on to February to figure out what is the best heal it plan for you, not the best diet. And so since I know that fasting is one of the number one elements that we use, or systems that we use to help us to get there, especially the part where when you don't know what to do, or when you have fallen off whatever eating plan that you have set up, you must know that fasting is your go-to to help reboot your system, to reboot the mind, in order for you to start over and get a fresh start, even if you fall off. That's very important. And I know it because I have experience. I first started fasting as a teenager from a religious standpoint. Had no knowledge of all of these different so-called diets that they have out now, and all these different kinds of fasts that they have out. I didn't know about these things until years later, and until I became a naturopath and a wellness coach, and I had to do my homework. So yes, there's some homework involved. If you all are sitting at home right now, you want to take down a pen, a piece of paper, or for those of you all like get on your tablets, this will be one of those Wellness Wednesdays where you want to take down this information. I promise you that. And so, and in between, I will let you know what you can do to help you when you fall off, because there will be a falling off. I don't like to speak death over into people's life, but however, I do realize that since we all know that there is a popular saying that nobody is perfect, I realize this saying has been stated so much to where it has set us up to use it as a crutch anytime when we are around an environment, or we are socially involved with different people that are not practicing what we practice, even if that means for your health and wellness. And so because I've experienced all of those things personally, I think it's no more than my reasonable service on this Wednesday, this Wellness Wednesday, to share it with you all, how I have overcome and how I made it through this process, by sharing with you all the different scriptures, the different books, the different type of information that can help you to become more than a conqueror over self. All right. All right. And so if you all look in the chat, you will see that I put that information down there. I only have one other thing to put in while I am waiting for you all to come in. If there is any greets or any questions that you have in the beginning, then I say get it in now, y'all, because when I say I got a lot of information to share with you all, I do. Okay? And so I'm going to put in one last thing, and please like and share. That helps me to grow the channel for more people to get the information out. That is one way that you can support me doing this journey while I'm doing my best to keep things in a manner to where you all can afford and where I can always be able to come before you all. Okay? So you don't have to pay to do that. All you got to do is take that finger, the index finger, and go do. So do that for me for those of you all that are not driving. Okay? I'm putting in this information and be right with you all in a few seconds. I sure missed you all. Do this thing better. Almost done here. Yes, if it looked like I got a very determined look on my face, you all, that's because I do. Because you can only imagine down throughout the years of counseling our people, how I have done a grand. Somebody said, why did it take you so long, Dr. Shelf, to do this? Well, because I like to gather information so I have a better insight on what is causing our people to struggle so much. And it's not just the 12 components of food addiction. That's vital. That is some of the part of it. But now that we know that we struggle, it's more important that we learn the systems of how to defeat the flesh, how to defeat the very thing that's caused us to be destroyed. And that's why I call that a mind over what is matter. Most of us abbreviate that and say mind over matter in order to encourage us to seize our minds. To force us to do something, because as you know, yes, it is true. Kevin Trudeau, that wrote the book, that there is power over the mind, that thoughts are real forces, is what he was known for saying. That is very true. We have scriptures in the Bible that speaks of that whatsoever man thinketh, so is he. And so this all applies to fasting. And anytime you're trying to control your body or make yourself do something that you don't usually do, or that maybe you've been practicing and you haven't gotten good enough at it yet in order to accomplish your mental health and wellness goals. And the reason why I said mental is because, once again, your thoughts are real forces. You are what you think. Whatever you think about the most, that is what we are trained to do, because the mind does control how we operate, what we do, what we say, what we eat, what we drink, where we go. Okay? So that means, and as you all know, it's also considered the great trickster. I learned that in a detoxification class that I had taken, and I will address where that came from. And I do want to start and open up with a simple prayer for those who all that are tuning in. And so I do want to do my proper greets. I like to say shalom, also assalamu alaikum, praise God. How y'all doing, to all our people that will tune in for this segment. But I want to start off with a universal prayer because that's just a good thing to do. Father, we thank you so much for blessing us to be able to come before you on this Wellness Wednesday 2025. We're so thankful to have the opportunity to be close in our right mind, to want to be healthy more in 2025, so that we can learn how to thrive and strive and how to survive during these perilous times that we live in. We thank you so much for the few that's tuned in now and those who will tune in later. We're asking that you have mercy, grace on us, and allow us to receive the knowledge that's power to us, to give us the strength to be able to conquer this month and to be able to soar and do the best that we can do by ourselves, to ourselves, and for our families. We ask that you protect and you cover all of those that are in the LA area that are suffering the wildfires, that's having to evacuate, just like you did for those who are in Florida and those who are still going through the relocation of their families. We know that these are stressful times for so many people, and that there are those of us who have escaped this type of mental stressful times for themselves and their families. So for those of us who's tuned in now and those who are going to tune in later, let us learn how to be thankful. Give us the mind to be thankful that right now we can just focus on trying to fast, pray, and to get ourselves strong enough to be able to help those who will need us in this near future and for this 2025. We thank you and we appreciate all that you have done for us. We appreciate that the God that is in us that gives us the strength to carry on in spite of. We thank you and appreciate it. In the name of the Most High God, we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. And I say too, to those of you all that are those who like to focus on all of the natural things that we can do. To those of you all that say, I don't believe in God, in due season and in due time, I believe that he shows himself in nature. He shows himself to us. Every man and every woman has this day to how they choose to connect to God for themselves. And that should start within yourself. And so I am not here to judge anyone by what you may practice and what you may do. That's not my place. I am merely here to be a light and to be an example and to do my part and share the information that I have acquired down throughout the years, and the work that I've done to help our people with you in hopes, in prayers that you all will be able to benefit from it. Okay? And so that's the reason why I give my multiple greets. I am not ashamed to do that because I believe that God created all of us and that it's going to take all of us to join together and to unite in order to come against the wiles and the wickedness that is set before us to destroy all of us. And it doesn't matter what God you serve. It doesn't matter what your name is. Evil does not care about what your diet is. Evil doesn't care about how well you fast. Evil doesn't care about whether or not you have money or not. Evil is evil. It's there to steal, kill, and to destroy. And so I'm on the side of the Godheadship, and I am the daughter that has been birthed at such a time as this to help encourage and help to inspire you all to do well by yourself and to yourself, so that we can be the best that we can be and that we can have the mind to thrive and survive in 2025. Okay? All right, you all. So I'm going to get started, and I have heard the information. Just for the record, we're going to specifically pray. I meant to pray for our brothers in the nation, in the those in the nation of Islam that have the crazy allegations that's gone forth already, misinformation that's gone forth concerning the catastrophe that took place. So I do want to address that real quickly. Of the blame that has been taking place from this young male that has decided to do such an evil act for whatever reason that he's had. Yes, I do have some inside information, but because I'm not working, I'm not a news forecast person. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to say that we need to pray for our brothers and sisters in the nation of Islam. We know that this is not the behavior of them. I have to put that disclaimer there. No matter what we disagree religiously wise, for those of us that claim to be religious and spiritual, we know the behavior of our own people. And just the fact that they said that this is a black man and exempt out that this is not from the Arabs, we consider that as a direct attack and defamation of character of that particular organization. We know that that is not the practice of, for those, any of you all that know of the NOIs, that is not what I have learned that to be. And yes, I do have some in the family. I do work with my brothers and sisters. I do know the basic foundation of what they teach, and that is not it. They do not teach to destroy anyone. So I would say that if this person had any type of connections at all it would have only probably been just through talk, but it's clearly that they're not practicing the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or the Minister Louis Farrakhan at all, because they do not teach their people to go into a crowd of people and state to state to destroy anybody. That is not their practice. I know it for a fact. Okay. And so I want to state that it is important that we pray, we keep our eyes open, you all, because that could be any of us. That can be any of your spiritual leaders. That could be any of you being accused. And we know we live in a country where they're always accusing our Black brothers of doing something. And they like to attack any type of organizations that are trying to provide any type of good, healthy information for our people, especially when you're teaching them how to be the best we can be, especially when you're teaching them about self. Okay. Hey there, sister, the entire Shalom. And so I just like for you all to keep those things in mind and don't allow yourself to get caught up in all of the propaganda. And this is the reason also why we have to do one on fasting, because fasting brings about clarity within the mind. Sister Tyra, this is one that you all, if you're just not tuning in, please like and share, and know that I will be sticking to mostly the subject 90% of fasting. And so you all want to save this segment for sure. Those of you all that like to tune in and tune out and tune in and tune out, because you're used to what I was doing in 25, you're going to wind up missing out if you do that this time around. I promise you that, because I'm ready. I am ready. Okay. I am ready. Ready. As I said, ready, Freddy. And so I'm going to start off with that being said. I'm not going to allow all of the distractions, and I encourage you all to too, that's going on in the news and that's going on in your life, not to make you miss out on getting the help that we all need during this time, because fasting is highly on the top 10, on the top 3 lists of the best thing that you could do for yourself. And I'm going to tackle all of the different ways that we have done that. I'm going to start off. So I will be reading from How to Eat to Live, part 2. I'll be giving you parts from there. I will be giving you scriptures from the Bible. I would also be giving you notations that I have set down for myself. So you all got a really good feast this time. And you can still answer questions. And I will be paying close attention to questions as well. Okay. So we're going to start off with How to Eat to Live, part 2. Page 49 is what I'm going to bounce around a little bit, because because this is strictly on fasting, I want to make sure that the subject matter stays with fasting, because there are gold nuggets, like I state, it's golden to have this knowledge and this information that so many have forgotten about. And don't allow yourself to be closed-minded and miss out on the wisdom that we have in the Bible, in How to Eat to Live, and the information that I have gathered down throughout the years. Okay. And so here we go. Fasting. First, starting off How to Eat to Live, part 2, chapter 49. And it states, and this is the third paragraph. It says, fasting takes away evil desires. Fasting takes from us having filthy desires. Okay. Fasting takes away from us having filthy desires. Fasting takes from us in the desires to do evil against yourself. That means gluttony. That means you taking in foods that's toxic to your health, that causes you to have these different discomforts and diseases of all sorts that leave you open to Satan and all of his devices. It takes away from the desire to do evil against self and our brethren and our sisters. We are created of the material of goodness. Even though I know a lot of us that was raised up in the Bible is in the flesh dwell no good thing. But then you will have the scripture that also points out that says that we were beautifully and marvelously made. So that means there is something that's good in us, okay? Therefore, good belongs to us. If it had not been, there would not be no good food to eat at all. Okay? We just need to know what those foods are. All right? Okay. Therefore, good belongs to us, and it should not be hard for us to learn and to turn to our own selves, in which we were created, And that is a good thing. Okay. Next paragraph, we are approaching the month, and most started in December, in which we were usually abstain from eating in the daylight hours. And this is something that the Orthodox Muslims, you all, practice a lot, and that's what you all know them for. And we wonder why it is that a lot of them are still reigning in position and they're taking over, even if you don't even realize it. There's the reason why the news is showing us all of this other information, making it seem like that they're destroying all of them, when that is not the case, you all. That's not the case. You have to look, you have to follow the money. Okay. He said that, I'm going to go on to page 50. It says, when we abstain from food for so short a time as for early morning until the sundown and darkness begin to appear, we cannot call this a fast. So many of us is calling this a fast, and this is the reason why it has become so frustrating for our people, especially for those who are religious and those who are practicing different type of forms of religion. This is the reason why it's frustrating and why it's so hard. It says we cannot call it a fast. You have to identify what it is that you're doing first, because when the mind finds out, when knowledge is applied, and then you try to unlearn what you learned, that can bring about confusion, you all. For we are eating the same way that we have always been eating, one meal in the day. Now, we know that that's not the practice here in United States of America, according to their deadly pyramid scheme that now they're starting to change, you all. Watch. This year of 2025, when the trucks have to stop, if they don't stop with the wars that they have going on that some of you all may not know about, but you experienced it. We experienced it during the time of the sea, during the time of COVID. We saw when things shut down. We see now, even here in the Midwest, when snow came, what happens? The first thing you do, you go to the grocery store, and what happens? You'll see most of the water gone, most of the bread gone, mostly all the staples gone. Can you imagine that happening for weeks at a time, months at a time? We already experienced it. So the fact that we have so many people, thousands upon top of thousands, relocating still from the hurricanes, from North Carolina to Florida and all the southern states, and then now from LA, from the wildfires. What do you think that's about to happen, you all? You're going to need the benefit in fasting is going to be very beneficial to you spiritually and naturally, because you'll be able to save some of your food for yourself and for those who have family. You may be able to even barter, because there is going to come a shortage while we are getting through these next few years, you all, of what's about to take place, the major changes that's going to take place. And I choose to say it that way because I'm not trying to ignite fear into our people, because I realize that there is a level and stages to fear. Some, it causes us to panic and then we fail. But then there is another form of fear that just makes you want to prepare, versus having to prepare while you don't have anything to prepare with, meaning when everything is gone. And so if you can't have that, if you don't have that financially, I encourage you all in this time to pair up with your family and friends and loved ones. Apologize to whoever you have to apologize to, so that you can work together. Because it's going to take a community effort. It's going to take a family effort. It's going to take that friend that you had a fallout with in order for you all to work together during these times, okay? All right. So I'm going to get to here. It says, for we are eating the same way that we did one meal a day. And even with eating one meal a day, it says, it is no fast to me. It says, to my followers to eat a meal after Sunday, we cannot call it a fast. But yet we got so many of us calling it fasting. Well, we're going to get into why they call it a fast and what kind of fast that they call it, you all. That most Christians, since this is a mostly predominantly Christian country, they are practicing this. I'm going to tackle that, because even though some of you all have learned how to fast through your doctors, through your health and wellness people, and some of you may not call yourself a Christian or any by any type of spiritual practice, still, that is the strongest foundation that we've learned from for the most part. And so I have to tackle that. It says that the fast should not be from 2 or 3 days without eating food. A fast should, it says a fast should be from 2 to 3 days without eating food. And I am very aware why that cannot happen with those of you that are on medication and drugs. So we're going to address that too. Bear with me. It says that if we are seeking spiritual advancement, we should fast for 3 days. You all hear that all throughout the Bible. You all, some even have had doctors that put it on. Why come you think that when you have destroyed your temple, meaning your body, why do you think that even when you're going in for major surgeries, that even some of the doctors that do not believe in God, that do not profess to be Christians, Muslims, or anything, some of them are atheists. Why do you think that they still put you on a fast before you can go into any type of major surgery? How ironic that it doesn't matter that you are on prescription drugs at that time that can cause withdrawal symptoms. How ironic is it that over practically about 1 million people die per year by the hands of untrained, unwise doctors that will not give you the proper setting or the proper health regimen to go by so that your body doesn't go into shock. So this is the reason why you see health and wellness on the rise now, because so many of our people, thanks to the internet, have gathered a lot of information now, and they realize that, wait a minute, it's something to this fasting thing. I know my grandma made a talk and, told us about it years ago. I know I seen it in the Bible. Okay, I seen it on the health plan, or I Googled it. This is the reason why this is vital. But us knowing the foundation and the most successful way of doing it, even if we consider it to be old-fashioned, even if you consider it to be a fast that you don't practice because of your religious belief, it does not mean that it is not beneficial to you. Because in this case, through reading How to Eat to Live Part 2, I do realize that means that there's a lot of data and a lot of people that's benefited from it. And for those who said that they believe in becoming Muslims, that's no longer practicing, trust and believe. Those who are not practicing this anymore, they're suffering from not practicing this. This is the reason why so many now are dying and getting sick. And that's not me mocking it, but it's very obvious because they stopped practicing this wisdom that they had received from their leader on how to properly fast and how to eat to live. What sense does it make? Think about it, you all. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep going. What sense does it make to have all this wisdom and this information of how to eat to live and how to properly fast and not apply it? Knowledge not applied, you all have heard it. Knowledge not applied is no power. You can't benefit from it. If I give you money, if I give you food, and you don't eat the food when you're hungry, and you don't use the money to buy what you need, then it cannot help you. So I'm not sharing this information today on fasting just so I could say that I did a fasting segment. I'm sharing it for you all to use it for those who you all think that this will help you or your loved ones. So please like and share in this segment. I told you you're going to want to save this one. Okay. It says, we already established that the proper fast, the best fast would be from 2 to 3 days of going without eating. However, because of the addictions of the artificial foods and the chemicals that we have been presented with, that pretty much makes up 80, probably it's safe to say 80% of the food that we are sold here, especially in America, and in certain other parts of countries and continents, it is too, but more so here in America because we produce the most processed, non-nutritional food that we know of in the world. And then we go into other countries and continents and we give it and sell it to them too. And so now a lot of them are experiencing sicknesses that they never experienced before either, because they're not eating healthy food, whether they're fasting or not. However, fasting can prolong your time and it will help and highly beneficial for you not having to worry about getting diseases and causing inflammation and causing all different forms of arthritis and high blood pressure if you could take a break from eating death. And we're going to go into that. Oh, yeah, y'all. We're going into it for us vegan people, too. So please like and share. Okay, in case of the Orthodox Muslim worshiping Ramadan by not eating until the sunset and the darkness approaches, they can eat all night long if they want to until the next morning at dawn. They call this a fast. They say that they do this in the month of Ramadan because Ramadan is the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed to Muhammad. But the way that I understand the scriptures, it teaches that they received the Holy Quran over the period of 23 years. Not in 1 month, is what he's saying. And so it says, do not receive, he did not receive it, or the people did not receive it in one night or one day. Neither did they receive it in 1 month. I know where he's going with this. And if he received the whole of the Holy Quran in the month of Ramadan, why fast in that month? So yeah, I'm finna tackle all of it, y'all. I'm finna tackle it as best that I can, so pray for me. It says, if we are given what we want in that month without fasting, how cannot I cannot understand why we should fast in that month. For the first revelation was already given in that month without fasting. So now we move to January, you all. That's where we are now, in January, because we know that is mostly practiced in the Middle East, what they call the so-called Middle East. It would look more proper for us to be rejoicing over the great salvation of God sent to us in that month. This leads us to January, you all. If you can convince me it is necessary to fast in the month of Ramadan because of Muhammad receiving the Holy Quran, the first revelation of the Quran, then I will go along with it. He said, if you can convince me. However, since it was received over periods of years, I am very much baffled in trying to understand why should we fast in that month. This is the reason why so many have moved that are religious, whether you be Christian or Muslim, whether you be of any faith. This is the reason why the most popular month now is to fast in January. And it's also because they're going by the Meridian calendar, where we believe that here in the Midwest, that the first of the year starts in January. Now, I'm not saying that for all of religious people believe in that, because that's not the case. The Hebrew Israelites and others, they do not believe that the first of the year, or at least the ones that I know of. Let me state that. They'll not believe that the first of the year starts in January. However, that's neither here or there, because we're talking about what's good for our flesh, what's good to help heal the land, what's good for you so you can be more spiritually inclined in times like this, of how to move, how to guide, how to lead your family in the most healthiest way. But you can't do that if you're sick. We can't do that if we don't learn how to fast and how to purge the body, the mind, and your whole spirit so that you can allow God to direct your path. All right? Okay. This is the reason why fasting is so critical, because it can cause you your death. When you do not know how to purge, when you do not know how to push back the plate, these things clog the mind and the spirit, especially when you know you live in a country or in a place where they are deliberately poisoning you. Okay? We should rejoice because we are receiving the word, and we should teach others to rejoice throughout the month. Okay, of course, this is the Arab way in their religion beliefs, that they should fast. But I do say that it is not necessary to fast to get something that you have already received. You got people fighting over that, y'all. I'm done with that part. Moving on to the next, page 52, and How to Eat to Live, part 2. There are 2 books, you all. There are so many untruths that people of untruth, meaning the white race and other races, have misled us in. We must come out of untruths. We must come out of falsehood. I do know that fasting is good. I have tried fasting for many years myself. And I do know that fasting is good for our health and fasting is good for our spiritual advancement. They are one, you all. They really are one. We just see the benefits in different ways. It is exactly good for us to take a fast and abstain from eating food for a period of days. But you are not actually fasting when you are going to eat every day. But that's what most of Christians, my Christian brothers and sisters, are doing. And I'm not criticizing. I did it too. I'm going to continue on, and I'm almost done with this part. Here goes. I remember my first fast that I can remember was at the age of 15. And most of the youth at that time, it was struggling. We were in high school. We were in junior high school at the time. And at this point, I can't remember fasting any time before that time, but I do remember that we had to eat at the time that our parents had set for us. And so our time to be able to eat some of the times was, I believe it's was by 4 p.m. It was between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. This is on the Christian side. And what happened is that I remember so many of us struggling because lunchtime would be anywhere between noon and 1. And so they would encourage the young people to go ahead and fast so that God will give you strength, is all they told us. There wasn't no particular dietary plan. There was no teaching us about the body, about how to get off and fast. And so you can imagine we would eat from that time on. I believe our last meal had to cut off at 7, somewhere around there. So the best time frame to eat was anywhere between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., I believe. And then I think there were times when we wound up fasting from we could eat from 6 p.m. to midnight. Confusing, isn't it? That did not include those who had work schedules where they worked graveyard shift. And I know that this was happening across the board, especially in the Baptist and the Pentecostal churches. Okay? I'm very aware of that. Saying that to say that caused a major problem, though. I'm not criticizing, just pointing out what I noticed down throughout the years, because that was over 30 years ago, you all. And I know that today that there are Pacific religious people and Christian brothers and sisters that's practicing it today. And a lot of them have just chosen not to do it because they're failing at it and they don't know why. It's not that they don't have the mind to want to fast and push back the plate, especially with all of this information that's out here now about what's ailing them and what's causing all these different ailments in their bodies. How you doing? Looking good, love. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Biggs. To make, hey there, it's good to see you. Please like and share, you all. And don't forget, you want to save this segment because I will be staying on course. Okay. However, what happened is that I would get a lot of young people coming to me, and some of them was my family members. They was like, Felicia, how is it that you are, aren't you hungry? How much of it? First of all, my mind was made up that I wanted to try it because I wanted to see if it worked, because they said spiritual enhancement. And so even as a teenager, I was thinking about, with everything that I'm seeing going on around me, if just me simply pushing back the plate and only eating one meal a day would help me to advance, I wanted to do that. And so you can imagine it was a challenging thing because most of the youth was not doing it. I don't know not a one youth that made it through not eating during lunchtime. We had gym, we had activities. You get the picture. And to those of us who are work our routines now, we're like, wait a minute, now I don't have the energy that I need because I'm fasting now. And so this is another reason why people will not fast. However, what I did was I read every scripture that I could find in fasting and the benefit of it. I chose, listen to my words, I chose to believe that this would work for me. And before I know it, I was fasting without any problems because I wanted to do it. You all, we have to want to heal the body. We have to want to dismiss Satan's food. You have to want to. So my prayer is that those who are tuning in now for this fasting part 1 with me, that you ask God to give you strength. You ask who you serve. You even if it's yourself, say, self, I want to do this. Give me the desire to do this so I can reap the benefits that I need during this time and throughout the rest of the year. Because for me, I'm not saying that January is good enough. This is something that we need to practice every month, all throughout the year, in order for you to help heal your mind, body, and whole soul. Okay? Especially because we live here where our adversary and the enemy is trying to destroy us through the food and through the water, through the air. This is more than a reason why you should want and have the desire to want to fast. You don't help your enemy kill you. Does that make sense? All right, back to it. It says, oh, y'all, we get to the good part. When he says that, but you are not actually fasting, when you are going to eat every day. We know what they call it. They call it intermittent fasting. And I'm going to get to the intermittent fasting, you all. Bear with me. It says, regardless to what time you may set for the meal, if you eat within 24 hours, you cannot really consider it as a fast. And so I say to my followers, we are not fasting. Okay? He said again, we are not fasting. It is good for us to abstain. Here you go for your vegans that claim that nobody was teaching this. All right, this is given as a revelation, and the knowledge was given back in the 30s, you all. You all wonder why come the brothers and sisters with the bow ties and the sisters that had the hijab and were looking so good and so youthful and living, and it was rare to hear about any of them getting sick and dying, even if they had been hooked on drugs, even if they had been on the street, even if they had never took care of themselves, even if they grew up on hot dogs and pork and beans. Once they started practicing this way, they had a glow about them. They had an energy about them. They had an astuteness about them that was very attractive to a lot of our people, especially in as so-called quote-unquote Black American, the original Black man and woman, especially for us. But guess what? Especially for others too. Okay? That's why you have some of them. There are a few of them that have joined too. That's why our Mexican brothers and sisters, Italian and more. Don't be deceived. It's best to find out for yourself than to take on all of the information from the outside world, because we know this world is full of lies and deceit. That is what your adversary likes to use to divide and conquer. And he's most definitely doing a good job at that. Okay? It says, it is good for us to abstain from eating meat, for we should not, drum roll, for we should not eat meat at all. See how he worded that? Yeah. How to eat, part 2. So for those of y'all that thought that veganism started for our culture people with the others that love animals more than they loved us. See, I know, because I lived with that. I was married to that this past few years. There is a difference. They didn't care anything about the nutritional value that was in your food. And this is the reason why also, as we know, we always talk about how they don't like to give us credit for anything that we've done as a people. Oh, they took the credit for this. They took the credit for the light bulb. They took the credit for the for inventing this and that and everything else. They took the credit and credit and credit. But they also took the credit for our Black men and women having the knowledge, ancient knowledge of how to eat to live, and that included how to properly fast, what was good for us and what was not. And I know some of you all would say, oh yeah, but some of them, thank you so much. I know, but some of them eat meat. Well, this is a process, you all. So if you see some eating meat, if you see some serving the meat, just note that there are vegetation still there too. Some cases there may be fruits. This does not mean that just because this is written, just like in the Bible, most people don't abide by all of the good things that we're supposed to practice in the Bible either, that say that they're Christians. So let's not be overly judgmental here. This is about you gathering the information that would be good for you and your family. You do better. You be the light that shines so bright. You be the example then. That's how I've chose to do it for myself, so that way I'm not constantly distracted from the knowledge that I know that can give me power over self, that can help me to soar even in the time of adversity. That also means in the time of war. Okay? So here goes. It is not good for us to abstain. It said it is good for us to abstain from eating meat, for we should not eat meat at all. Meat is not good for our health, nor for our bodies. Especially talking to us melanated people. Anything that's made up of anything else or anything terrestrial and whatever else, we'll leave that to them. Some of you all that's tuning in now and later, you know that there are many information out here about why we have these different DNAs, these different people. Some people are not considered human. Whether you believe it or not, it exists. How do you know, Dr. Shell? We get that black woman look, the so-called black woman look. This is not the time in the segment for me to explain to you how I know. Actually, by nature, we are not made to live off of meat. Let me say that again. Actually, by nature, we are not known to live off of meat. It's talking about us as melanated people, you all. We are not known to live off of meat. Even if you look back into slavery times, what were they eating from? They were eating from the earth. And even when they would get the strapping of the pork and all these other things, they would get the strapping and leftover. That's the reason how chitlins came about. That's how pig feet came about. This is the South. This is what they gave us and threw at us after working us like dogs. Working us longer than the cattle. Working us longer than the horse. What were we working on? We were working on growing food from the earth for them. Big Mama was in the kitchen preparing food for them from the earth, not from a factory. This is the reason why, if they didn't kill them and didn't abuse them too bad, this is the reason why they were so strong. They were working in the sun where vitamin D came from, and they were eating the strappings. Some of them, I can imagine how many of them were desperate enough after being in the hot blazing sun and working, and even those who worked in the wintertime, I can only imagine how desperate they got to steal the food from the earth. And some of them that wasn't beat and crucified and killed still were stronger than hundreds of us today. How you know that, Dr. Shell? My first experience is working in the health field, in home health care at 17. My mother and my aunties were missionaries. I told you all the story, and we used to visit those who what we call the sick and the shut-in. That means our elders that had gotten sick from diabetes and arthritis to the point to where they couldn't walk, they couldn't make it to church anymore. So I would go. I would be one out of very few, out of a lot of our young people that had the desire to go to help our elders. And so we would take them food. We would pray with them. We would do different things with them all over. And so through that, I learned that, wait a minute, this is a good person. What is it going on? Why does she have this disease? And it will always be all this different type of food and tons of drugs, prescription drugs that was causing their conditions to get worse and worse and worse until they died. But I noticed in the South, where some of our people were raised on the plantation, and I do have a grandmother that was, through marriage. She would say, no, we ate blackstrap molasses. We ate this, we ate that. She's stronger than an ox. She's close to 90 now. Those that eat from the earth still to this day is stronger than those of us today, us millennium, our Gen X, and all of the rest of us that's 60 and under. They're stronger than us today because their DNA was coiled with eating from the earth. And they also were forced to fast a lot of the times. And most of them did have a spiritual outlet, whether it was praying to their ancestors or whether it was praying to God before they were whipped into believing in the name of Jesus. Yeah, I said it, until they were whipped into believing into the name of Jesus, until they were murdered and frightened into believing in their white God. I said it. What does that matter, Dr. Shell? It matters when you cannot say, does it matter to you if somebody tell you that I know who your daddy is and you know who your daddy is because he raised you? I'm just saying, for those who don't know who the father is and he raised you, wouldn't it matter if you seen who you are and then somebody show you something of a different origin, a whole nother different, and you can tell that's not you? Would not you be like, wait a minute, that ain't my daddy? That's what it matters. If you believe it, you were led to believe that your people did nothing great, But here it is, you seen your mother, you seen your grandparents do great things, and then here it is, you have somebody coming to you of another persuasion telling you that, you know what, your people are none but slaves. They didn't do nothing good. Would it matter? Yeah, it matters. If all you've been told is that all your people always ate pig feet and ate things that were toxic to them, and none of them lived past 50 or 60 or 70, but yeah, you know that you got people down in your family lineage that have, you look at them like, what are you talking about? You's a lie and the truth ain't in you. That's what it matters. So it matters that we know that even in this time and this dispensation, you all, that we had a group of people. We had a man that came and lived on this earth in the flesh, that taught this. But what happened? Media did exactly what it's doing today to the so-called superstars that they have enslaved. That has been a part of their agenda, that they have paid millions of dollars to, just to act, just to sing, just to dance. And they've even turned their backs on them. So how much more do you think that they would turn their backs on somebody that's telling them that you're more than that? How much more do you think that they would try to hide these books and stop the print of these things? How much more? You know that there has to be a God somewhere. It has to be a greater being somewhere in order for this to even survive, to where it gives us the permission to be able to thrive and survive in 2025. You know, you have the people like the Bill Gates and all these other people, Dr. Fauci's and all these others that's sitting here planning. They have their own scientists, they have their own chemists, they have their own biologists that they have paid a lot of money to. And some of them have ratted them out now to say, you know what? We told them that this would make America sick. We told them this would kill a lot of people. But because of the billions of dollars that they have made off of this, they would like to demonize the Nation of Islam. They would like to demonize any Christians. They would like to demonize anybody, any Hebrew, anybody that's teaching how to eat to live. Because the battle is so much harder to win when you got strong and healthy people that trust and believe in the God that's in them, that they can conquer. So this is the reason why we can't be foolish on this Wellness Wednesday and allow our difference in traditions and allow our difference in who God you serve, when it's right there, Christian brothers and sisters. It's right there in your Bible that he said he's called many names. Jehovah Jireh, Rapha, Nisha. Who are we? Who are we as a people that can't even live past 130? Since we like to put so much emphasis on who Moses was, we like to put so much emphasis on who Methuselah was and how long he lived. We like to put so much emphasis that even though Adam sinned in the Garden of Eden, that they still, even though they were cast out where it was good fruit and good land, he still lived over 100 years. Who are we? And there was no mention of the name of Jesus at that time. Oh, Dr. Shelf, watch out now. You're born a Christian. You know that there's power in the name of Jesus. You better listen. Please listen to me, like and share. You need to listen, my Christian brothers and sisters. This is not what this is about. I refuse to have a debate about Jesus' name, about Allah, about Yeshua HaMashiach, about whether or not I'm an atheist. I refuse to sit down and have arguments about foolish things. Yeah, I called it. When our people are sitting here dying, but yet the moment that white man, the moment that this atheist or any other religious people come up and create a book giving you all these confusing diets, the paleos and all of these other diets, and notice they call it diet, that most 90% of us cannot even fully get through. You can't even master it. And there's a reason for that, especially to my melanated brothers and sisters, because they were not designed for us. Calm down, Dr. Hill. You said you'll stay on track. Staying on track because I watched too many of my loved ones. I watched too many of our people die. and be destroyed for the lack of knowledge that's not applied properly. I get it. I'm not angry. I get it. But it does hurt my whole heart. It does. It bothers me. That's when one out of our families, or somebody that practices a different tradition, that even with the amount of people that souls have been saved, even with the amount of people that have been healed, that we still have so many naysayers, that because you're sick or because you have lacked in not being able to ask God to give you the strength to study, to show yourself approved, to study and to learn a better way of how to take care of yourself and your family. We choose to fight one another. We choose to debate over issues and matters that really is not going to save nobody. It's that stopping Trump from doing what he's doing. Well, yeah, the power of prayer, yeah, because we could have been destroyed. No, it's not. It's that stopping them from locking up our men and feeding them all of this crap. And many of them in there now got to be forced to fast because of the trash that they're feeding our men and women in prison. They're sick and they're dying and they're organ. They're taking their organs and they're shipping them off to people, and these wealthy people are getting their organs. They're killing our sons. They're killing our daughters. They're killing your brother and your sisters. This should be an alarming thing for us. There is no way we should be arguing about who believe in what, when none of us are exempt from knowing somebody or having somebody in our lives that have not been affected by drugs, that have not been affected by alcoholism, that have not been affected by eating deadly poisonous meat, that have not been affected by being lied to, that you fasted when you still eating every day. It's not a fast. How do we get there? $25 in 2025. Call me, 618-388-8100. I promise you I won't judge you. I promise you I'm not going to eat you alive. I don't practice cannibalism. I just want to help us to better understand, because I understand, I fully see you all. I see, just like you all see on these internets, how many different disturbing information is out here set to distract and to confuse us more than ever. And it confused people. People that have been lied to can never heal themselves, less known their family. The land will never be healed when we have this much information out here that does not help our people. It will never. We will never heal the land. And our Christian brothers and sisters, yes, we like to quote the scripture. If our people, which are called by my name, there's a lot in that alone, shall humble themselves and pray. This is how I make it through, you all, when you all say, how you do it, Dr. Chef, after losing so many loved ones? I say, I humble myself and I pray. I seek his face to turn from my wicked ways. Then I hear from heaven. Then I feel that my sins have been forgiven. Then one by one, each person that he sends to me, if they listen, they are healed. Well, why don't you exploitate them so we can see more of them? It's called a thing called patient confidentiality, client's confidentiality. How many sick people do you know that have cancer and they're stricken with cancer? How many sick people do you know that every time you go into Walmart, into your grocery stores, that they're all out on their stretch beds and where you can see them and the treatments that they're getting? That is one of the problems that we've had. We find nothing sacred today. I do have an issue with that. Notice I didn't say a problem. The scripture says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Well, I'm speaking because that's what's in my heart. And I can't change that. God just made me this way. After gathering information, some that I didn't even ask for, I realized that this is the great trickster, confusion. Who is the author of confusion? Satan is. Anybody that practice evil doings on a regular. This even mean for some preachers. A lot of them, way too many of them. That's why you see so many unhealthy. That's why you see so many of them lose their families. I know, I have experienced it. I'm not a divorced woman because I didn't know how to be a good wife. I'm a divorced woman because I refuse to allow Satan to have me and sift me as wheat. I refuse to have my wound tainted with ungodly things to the point to where it sickens me and I die too soon. I refuse to have somebody else's organs in and out of me that has been sleeping in the bed with pure filth. I refuse to be with a man that says that he know God and the truth and the Bible and what's good for us and what's healthy for us, but yet you don't practice it. I fully understand that my wound is only set to birth that is healthy and good because I've already experienced what it is to birth something that's unhealthy because of being a young, dumb, and stupid and ignorant and not having the knowledge. So I'll be doggone if 49 years later, I'm going to sit there and know better and not do better. So y'all can believe the lies all you want to. But yes, it takes strength from up above. It takes strength not to fall into the category of worrying about how somebody's going to label you because you stood for something instead of constantly falling for anything. Ain't nobody, I said it just like I meant, ain't nobody going to heal you but you. I'm going to finish giving this information. I'm fasting for you all so that you all can fully understand the importance of it beyond what your pastor done told you, beyond what your cult leader done told you, because this is a personal thing. You benefit from that so that others can benefit from your life, your purity, your cleanliness. And it is a journey. It's not something that you're going to get overnight, but it's most definitely something highly so important that it can cost you your life. It can cost your children not to have a father. Cost your children not to have a mother. Cost your nieces and nephews not to have an auntie and an uncle. Too soon. So this is the reason why I didn't mean to get this passionate and compassionate about it, you all. I really, really felt like I could just stay this whole course. So forgive me. Forgive me. But this is why this is so important, because you all have seen some of the things that I've seen. It's 1 million people dying daily that don't have to die if they only understood just this simple thing. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Sister Jamaica. Don't allow people to take you on a wild goose chase for simple things that God has given us, is what I'm saying, you all. You take one day at a time. A Christian brothers and sisters said, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking of you. My brothers and sisters in the Muslim words say, Alhamdulillah. All praises be to Allah. The Hebrew brothers and sisters say, oh my God. Wait a minute. Shalom. The power of Yeshua HaMashiach be with me. the so-called countries, brother and sister, ashe. At the end of the day, we break out into a war. I promise you, you're just going to be looking into the eyes of one another and seeing who's for you and who's not against you. I guarantee you, you ain't going to be so worried about that bow tie then if they coming to help you. I guarantee you, you are not going to be so worried about even the color of the skin as long as they come to help save you and if you have a family. It's out of the matter of the heart, you all, that matters the most. It matters what we do to truly help one another and not just tear down one another. That is the attributes of Satan right there. Well, I don't believe in Satan. That's the attributes of evil. You get that language, don't you? Anytime your main focus can only be turned down one another versus helping each other to learn how to eat to live. Anytime we're so stingy, knowing that you got more than enough to help somebody else. That is along the lines of practicing selfishness and evilness, that you are okay with watching another human being suffer where they don't have to suffer in your own homeland. This is why fasting is so important, you all. Please like and share. Because it helps what I just read beforehand. It helps to cast away evil spirits, evil thoughts, evil deeds that we do one to another. I'm telling you, it's true. I didn't know that I was going to be living and partnering with someone for the last couple of years. They were trying their best, spending over $10,000, close to $30,000 trying to learn how to fast from the others. Yeah, I said it. From the others. Just to fall off of the fast within 30 days or within 30 days. Just to only reap the benefit of losing a little weight. And just for all that evilness to come back upon them. Yeah, it took everything in my whole being to be able to make it out of something like that. Because I'm sure you all can tell that, yes, I got a built-in warrior in me. Some of y'all like to lightly say she got a Harriet Tubman spirit, and call it what you will. But what I don't have in me right now is a spirit to allow Satan to sift me as wheat. I don't care what label you come in, what position you in. And you shouldn't either. You know when somebody is for your good. Because they're simply going to do good by you. Nothing else. They're not going to lie and be sneaky and try to poison you. They're not going to lie and be sneaky. And what happens is when we don't listen to the wisdom, men that's tuning in, when you don't listen to the wisdom, if you're blessed to have a woman that has some wisdom, my God, please learn to cherish them. If God in the universe thought enough to trust us to birth the nation, what makes you think that when you marry one of us, that he didn't build us and make us to be able to help you meet the vision? If he thought enough to help us, to most of us, to know how to multiply, what makes you think that that doesn't include multiplying in wealth and your health and wisdom from God? When you disrespect the mother, when you disrespect Mother Nature, you curse. Now that's the true curse. Not how much money you can give somebody. Back in the day, you all, and Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, even to this day, while they're trying to attack them with defamation, it's still teaching our people, do for self. Grow your own food. This is what we're missing, Christian brothers and sisters that's tuning in today. My Hebrew brothers and sisters, some of you all are missing it too. You all know I love you with all my whole pure heart. And God has given me the grace to look beyond our different practices, our different religions and traditions, to say that enough is enough. I say this as a mother. I say this as a sister. I say this as a favorite auntie. We have to do better. How can the people hear if they don't hear a preacher? That's one form. How can the people hear if they just won't hear wisdom at all? That simply means that we will be destroyed for the lack of knowledge and for not applying that knowledge. Whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. If you think that fasting won't help you, then you will not be able to conquer this. You will not reap the benefits from this. If you think that you eating toxic meat all day long and every day because you're going by this American satanic diet system, then you will not live long. I'm talking about this day. Because they have taken the reason why he's saying it is not good for us to obtain from him. It is good for us to abstain from eating meat, for we should not eat meat at all. Meat is not good for our health nor for our bodies. The reason why he was saying this, y'all, back then was because this man seen for saying what they were doing in the industry. God dealt with him to put this in the book way before these jack-legged preachers is hollering that I'm the only one preaching this. Because they want the credit. Dr. Sebi did not start this, and no, I don't hate Dr. Sebi, but I'm talking from a God-fearing, from a very spiritual place right now, and I don't have no evidence of him being that, so I cannot put him in the same category, nor neither can I put Dr. Layla Africa or no other naturopath in the same order or category as the prophets and the ancient people of our time and people like Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, them that taught this to our people so that we can be able to thrive and survive in this time in 2025. Pick back up your book. Go to those of you all that don't have it. I don't care what religion or persuasion that you are of. Go get How to Eat to Live Part 1 and 2 to help you along the way. It's a very short read. If you ain't never read before, start off make that your New Year's resolution. Oh, well, my family ain't gonna let it hide it like you do when you hiding your ding-dongs. You ain't gotta tell everybody your business. Do you show them everything that you do in your phone? No, you do not. Well, I just can't stand seeing the name of Allah and nothing. Close your eyes. Read on to the next. Get your wisdom. Get the knowledge, you all. Because clearly, from my Christian brothers and sisters, you got the whole Holy Bible that showed you about this, but everybody's so caught up and mixed up. Well, that was in the Old Testament versus the New Testament. Well, they left out 18 scriptures in the Bible. Well, y'all still debating about fish, whether or not you should eat fish, even though Satan himself and his children have told you that they done tamed the fish and that they are now injecting even the fish with the COVID shots and all other kind of that. They look it up, you all. You ain't got to take my word for it. Look it up. It's in there. They're not hiding this. They're not hiding the information. This is up to you whether or not you're going to accept the truth, and you're not going to allow yourself to be ignorant of Satan's devices. As my dear brother Tim said, look at the first base word of ignorant is ignore. When you ignore this and you don't like and share it and you don't take it in for yourself, I've done my part. That's why you won't hear me cussing, calling you every time somebody call in. And girl, did you make sure you ain't eat no meat today? That's not my part to do. My part is to take out this time, free time to give to you all to make sure that I reiterate on how vital, critical this is for you all to practice this. If you want to live a longer, healthier life, if you want to be able to operate out of the Holy Spirit, out of the chakra, out of your hoorah, if you want to be able to focus out of your yang, all of these different levels of our spiritualities that you believe that makes you a superman and a superwoman. All of it. I'm not going to knock none of them, because according to your Bibles, Christian brothers and sisters, it tells you not to mess with them if they're not messing with you. It said, let the eunuch be. It even goes as far as that says, let the sinner be the sinner. Leave them alone. If they're not fighting with you, don't fight with them. And you know, it even goes as far as saying to turn the left cheek. Well, I ain't developed to that point. You come trying to hit me in the cheek, you gonna get hit back. But that's not the holy thing to do, Sister Felicia and Dr. Shep. Next, I'm gonna hit you back. I believe in self-defense. I'm not playing no games. It's gonna take everything in this nation for me not to strike back. Because God didn't have us to be ignorant and stupid. He didn't put us here for us to be destroyed by your enemy. If it wasn't so, then you would never see any rumors or any wars or anything taking place. Nobody fasted to try and conquer nothing. That means that no sword. Peter should have never had a sword, and he should have never walked with Yahshua either. Should have never been no fighting at all. Well, you know, the Nation of Islam, that they teach, whether they talk having guns or not, you go try to run up on one of them brothers, you're going to find out. You go try to run up on one of the sisters, you're going to find out. And if you're not being hypocrites, Christians, brothers and sisters, that's what I was raised as. Y'all already know. I already done seen the fights. Don't even play. So my point is just like you'll fight, if somebody come up and just steal on you, as we used to say back in the day, if somebody just come up and just smack you in the face, if you're not afraid to fight back, that bully, then you don't sit back and let people give you regular information that's not going to help you to thrive and survive in 2025. Stuff that you know you cannot do, especially not by yourself. You text me, 618-388-8100, and I promise you I'll help you to get your mind back right. I use everything that I can. Those who tune in know that I will. Now, here we go. Actually, by nature, we are not made to live off of meat. Here we go. Beef, coarse meat, such as beef. We should not wear out our stomachs trying to digest the coarse meats. We should not eat any meat, not even lamb. That's some of my Hebrew brothers and sisters going crazy now over that. Truth got to be told. Either way it goes. You know you ain't getting no good clean lamb. Even in the Bible, it tells you to get the baby lamb. Y'all ain't getting that baby lamb. But just then he said not to judge you what you may eat or drink. I'm merely telling you what the ultimate help is for us in these times. You are not living back in those days for those of you all that believe that the Bible is just ancient. The scriptures is ancient. The Quran and all the rest of them that has helped people live a long and healthy life. Now you feel like, oh, today they're tainting the lamb. So even if you could do it, it's not healthy for you. It's what this is saying. This is how you have to apply this today. Fish, we can eat it. However, it's raised under a different atmosphere. The fish today is not raised underneath a different atmosphere. The marine algae people done went in and they done take it. They trying to get as many fishes as they can to inject them and track them. And those trackers and those nanotechnologies is going into you. I said it. And going into you. And they're doing all sorts of things to your womb. That's why the Nation of Islam, when they used to get their fish, they did a contract with the Persian people, because they were known for having the freshwater fish. just for the record, but you already see what he told you. You won't have to worry about going through all that if you had taken the advice, if we were people that had been enslaved and taught that it was okay to kill, and eat dead flesh. You wouldn't have to worry about that if you would just follow the first thing that he was telling us, and that is that it's not good for us to consume, that it is not in our nature, that by nature that we are not made to live off of meat. Birds, God taught me to no birds is good for us to eat. No bird for our chicken lovers. No bird. No big birds, no little birds. No injected birds, no birds. But following the people who they describe as eating like a beast, that is the right race. We have taken on their ways, you all. They eat anything, and now even a lot of them won't even eat it now. That's why you see them protesting about it now. There go your vegan crew. A lot of them love their animals way more than they love you. Trust me, I know. I was with one. They love them animals and nature more than they love a human being. That even includes themselves. So this is why that's been made easy for them. But we're talking about the spiritual aspect of that. It's not in our melanated nature to do this. Okay? There we go. And that was rough. I wasn't expecting to get that. But my goodness. Yeah. Y'all, like and share. Please like and share. You're going to make it through it. Now, let's go on to the good part. Matthews, you're going to the Bible. That was excellent right there. That was the second part of how to eat to live out. Get it, you all. Stop sharing things. People that don't want the information, then you cannot force it on them. Just give it to them. I'm merely doing this because I had a platform to do it. And it's in my heart to share with you things from different perspectives for those of us who can explain it, because more of Muslims and more of my Christian brothers and sisters and some of my Hebrew brothers and sisters are the ones that tune in the most. And so that's who I speak to the most. This is my mango. This is my meal for today. No, I'm not fasting right now because of what I'm encountering is what we call my lady time. I'm restoring my body, even though that would be good. But I eat ginger, mango, and papaya to help restore, to give me the energy that I need. But this will be what I eat today. No meat, no vegetations, nothing else. This is what I will be drinking. This will be my food. I took my B12 and I'm balanced out that way because I know I need energy to study. And so I'm not following through in any other types of it because this is what works for me and my body. Okay? That's how that works. And I allow nobody to play mind games with me about what I know is going on in my temple. And it does not mean that I'm in a place where I feel like, oh, that gives me permission to criticize anybody else that decides to go ahead and fast. After this, my 3-day fast comes from there. This is what I'm practicing that I found to be beneficial. And then come the month of February, what we call Black History Month. Then I plan to wind up fasting once out the week, which will title 4 days out of the week. But in between that time, I will be eating healthy foods, fruits and vegetations. Only that is healthy, and taking that then supplements that are very natural, made from the earth. That's how that's how I stay with the energy that I need for the work that I do. And when necessary, if I believe that that's too much, then that's when I go on a 2 to 3 day fast. See how that works? Because I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know what has worked for me down throughout the years. And that does not include eating toxic meat. I still get asked that question to this day. You don't eat no meat? Mm-hmm. I still got meat on my jaws. I still got a little meat in my belly because I ain't been doing a bunch of crunches. I still got meat in my chest. I'm not bones. Y'all, we have to learn from one another, okay? Matthew 6 and 16. We're going to the scriptures. Matthew 6, 16 to 18. Please like and share, you all. These are segments that I know some of you all can break up them. And let me look at the what you call. Okay, we got a little time here. Here. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Sister Maker, for the fruits. Y'all look in the chat. Matthew 6, 16 to 18. Instructions to fast humbly and not for show. So everybody putting up these that claim to be ministers and claiming to be so spiritual, but then they put on there, I've been fasting for a whole week. Right here, Matthew 6 and 16, if they say they believe in the scriptures. But I guess there'll be some that will debate about that if it's not an African Bible. 6 and 16, it says instructions to fast humbly and not for show. A lot of them are doing it for show now that's on this internet because you all pay for that. You pay them. They give money from off of that. So once again, already, according to their scriptures, for those who say that they're Christians, they're believers, they're Hebrew and all this other stuff, and you fasting and you doing it for show, you posting up, you getting money for it, already not in the right spirit. Yeah, watch, pay attention, you all. Isaiah 58. Chapter 58, Isaiah chapter 58, 6 and 17. You all want to write this information down. Describing the kind of fasting. This, I'm just going to explain to you what these scriptures does. It describes to you the kind of fasting God desires. Focus on justice and compassion. Joel, Joel, chapter 2, 12 to 13. This scripture was designed for calling for the return of God with fasting and weeping and mourning. These are those of us who felt like they're getting tired of mankind destroying this earth, and they believe in the higher power. They believe in the supreme God and being, and now they use fasting in Joel 2, chapter 2, 12 through 13. They're using it to cry out to God that they believe that is in the heavens of the heavens to come down and to help them. That's one aspect of fasting as well. Okay. All right. Hey, that's Sister Jacqueline. Please like and share. You want, man, you missed some good stuff. Here you go. Ezra, E-Z-R-A, chapter 8, 21 to 23. Example of communion fasting with prayer, leading to answer requests, meaning that they use the fasting to send out special requests, and some of them believe in breaking crackers and wine in order to be able to open up their minds, and then they can make their special requests made. Acts 13, chapter 13, 2 and 3. It's based off of the Holy Spirit, the God in you, to help guide you during the time of fasting and prayer. And that's what happens. A lot of people get misguided because first of all, they don't really believe in God. They believe only in self. And they are misled. So many of them are misled. These are your people that like to go off on these crusades and they still come back the biggest devil ever. I know what I'm talking about. I was married to it. And that's not to throw shade. That's just to put out the truth. Where you can go on a fast for 30, 40 days, and then within that next hour, when you have to deal with reality, now you cannot keep it up. You right back to pornography. You right back to lying. You right back to scheming. You right back to judging. You right back to being ungrateful and unthankful. You right back to doing everything that you were fasting from in that 30 and 40 days. That puts you in a state of craziness, you all. That's what we call it. Demonic forces come back like a rushing mighty wind in also the form of parasites that's in the body. So because you starved the parasites from all of the artificial sugars and junk that you were eating prior to, this is the reason why these so-called crusades, these fasting crusades, and you all this breaking bank that's trying to go off and do all these fastings for a week and 2 and 3 and all that, and for a month. This is the reason why you wind up backtracking on it, and now you just say, well, I'm just going to share this information for you all so that you all can just pay me. This is the reason why those don't last, and you just wind up running out of money, because that you, unless you can afford to stay on that wellness retreat for a whole year and you don't have to deal with reality, then that's the only way that this is going to be consistently and the most powerful, beneficial for you, yourself, and your family. Other than that, you're just making another wellness retreat place rich off of your inability and your weakness of your mind not to be able to take what you learn and apply it to your everyday usage, because it's only through the tests and only through you living day by day will this be the most beneficial. Of course, any of us that go on a vacation is happy and able to feel like, oh, life is good. When we're on a cruise, life is great when we're on a good vacation. But it's when you come back home, it's when it matters the most. This is when you can say that I've made this a lifestyle. This is the reason why also so many of us have decided that I'm going to go to Africa and I'm going to go to other parts of the world in order so I can get good food, because I want to be able. But it does not help you with your spiritual man. Once again, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. It goes beyond just eating, or else there would be no need for fasting. Fasting is for the enhancement of your spiritual enhancement and the cleansing of your mind, because there's still parasites in the fruits all over the world. It's still foreign things flying throughout the air, all through the world. No matter what the scientists put in and say who got the most toxic environment. If that be the case, we wouldn't have so many crimes taking place in Africa. You wouldn't have so much mistreatment of the women. You wouldn't have all of these different famines. You wouldn't have so many homeless people. You wouldn't have so many people begging from who we call Babylon, the American people trying to get money. If it was just in eating healthy food from the earth and just not eating meat. That means you're supposed to be the most prosperous people ever. Not compared to Europe, not compared to America, not compared to anyone, just period. That means there should not be no help that they need that. Well, that's it, because America going over and they destroying. Well, you're so healthy, you're so spiritual, you're so sound-minded, then that means you're supposed to be able to conquer. You're supposed to be able to conquer your adversary. Because you're more healthier, you're more stronger, you're more this, you're more that. No, but you can't do it because the wicked people in high places all over the world has sold you out. America didn't force them to do that. That's the nature of ungodly men and some women. That's what we call evil, no matter what your religious belief is, no matter what you practice, no matter what your title. That's what we mean by evil. Because you come to steal, kill, and to destroy. And if you are a part of organizations that believe in doing that, you're participating in that too. So I encourage us all to take fasting to a whole nother, just reconsider how you view fasting and how much this really truly does help you to be able to see things clear. Well, Dr. Chef, ain't you a part of certain things? But nobody calls me to force me to drink. Nobody calls me to force me to do anything that I don't want to do. They only call me for health and wellness information. They only call me for counseling. I'm a health ambassador. They don't call me for nonsense. And so therefore, I can work with people that allow me to operate in the position that God allows me to operate in without having to try to make me or force things on me that I know is unhealthy and spiritually and naturally for me. Does that include dancing too? That's I'm going to dance until the Lord say I can't. You better recognize I'm going to listen to all the good music that I can, because in a world like this, you better get all the good you can get. Okay, let's go in. Those are the scriptures for now that I shared with you. Once again, there was from Matthew chapter 6, 16 through 18. You all want to take out the time and read that. That is your homework until next Wellness Wednesday. That may produce a question for you. For those of you all that don't mind getting it from the scriptures, from the Bible, Isaiah 58, verse 6 to 7. You want to go and zoom in on that. Joel chapter 2, from verse 12 to 13. You want to zoom in on that. And then also Ezra 8 and 21 and 23. And I know some had a question. Dr. Chev, your hair is beautiful. Thank you so much, Sister Jacqueline. Blow dried it, y'all, and I just twisted up. That's all I did. No perms, none of that, y'all. And all natural things. Okay. And then also, for those of y'all say, well, that was ancient and we can't apply that. Okay, then use your common sense. This is the reason why I set it up for $25 for you all to call in for your health consultation. For those of you all to say that you are religious and you believe in the word of God or what you consider the Bible, then therefore we can break that down to what you can apply to today. I realize that is so critical. And this is the reason why so many of my Christian brothers and sisters are thrown off. The reason why you can't make it through that fast, even with just making that so-called intermittent fasting that have you still eating one meal a day. The reason why it's such a struggle is because you're still eating toxic meat. You're still eating toxic chemical foods. And so automatically the parasites is getting mad at you. And it's going to constantly be trying to make you think that it's your appetite that's craving that ding dong, that's craving that Snicker, that's craving and snack on some gum, that's craving that artificial sugar, that soda pop, that Coca-Cola, your Pepsis, and all the other things. It's because once you all do finally eat, you're not eating the proper food. So that's the reason why the special that I have going on today, all you have to do is text in 618-388-8100. I will give you another number at that time, and you can get your $25 consultation on how to get you started from where you are. Okay? That also includes those who eat meat. All right? Okay, didn't know better than that. Speak on it. Okay, thank you so much. And so we're going to tackle intermittent fasting, and we're almost done. You all have been in here for 4 p.m. It's almost 6. The time went by so much better. I know I had to have my my passionate spout there, but my expression, but yeah. I know you know. I know you can sense how much I had to deal with here. It says intermittent fasting. We're going to focus on the intermittent fasting for this next few segments. Now, take any questions. I've been looking, trying to get in there for you all the information. Intermittent fasting. If it is an eating pattern where you cycle between periods of eating and not eating. That's what they call intermittent fasting. You're interrupting the fast, actually. It also includes healthy foods, you all. Healthy foods, my Christian brothers and sisters. Healthy foods, my Hebrew Israelites. Healthy foods, my Muslim brothers and sisters. Healthy foods, my people that don't believe in no religion. Healthy foods is what intermittent fasting really, truly includes in order for you to be able to even accomplish that. Eating one meal a day. Okay? Healthy foods. What's healthy foods, Dr. Chef? You asked me the question. This is Wellness Wednesday. Then I will answer that for you. I'll share some of them with you in a bit. It also includes healthy foods that should be consumed, but it's just as important to consider when to consume them. My perfect time to eat throughout the day is anywhere between 12 and 4 p.m., depending on my work schedule. It may switch up sometime, and it will be anywhere between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. I have discovered within my own self that if I wind up not planning to fast or do any kind of so-called intermittent fasting, that if I start to feel like I need something to eat in the middle of the night, my experience has been that is not a good thing to do. Even if you're eating healthy food, it will throw you off if you're trying to stay on a regimen, okay? It does not mean that it's the end of the world because you do. This is the reason why I provide the health coaching in this way. But it does mean that there's a different kind of way that you need to start over eating, and it does mean that you have to start afresh the next day. Okay? I have plans to set up for those who work night shifts. I work night shifts in nursing field, so I understand you all how challenging that can be. I work morning shifts, you all, in the nursing field. I understand how challenging that can be. I have worked 14 to 16 hours before. I understand how challenging that can be when you're trying to fast. So when you call in to get your $25 consultation, note that I do have enough experience, I believe, that I can help share with you all that you can try for yourself, for those of you all that want to fast in this month, but yet you have what we call a crazy schedule. Okay. It says that it should be consumed, but it is just as important to consider when to consume them. More popular than keto diet, the Dunkin' diet, the paleo diet, intermittent fasting, if is now one of the world's most popular health trends and has received much attention thanks to social media. That's just my little notation that I took down for now. You all, I do appreciate you all for allowing me to get through that process. I did not expect for myself to have to get so passionate about it. However, I do realize that our people are being destroyed once again for the lack of knowledge. And there's not enough, I don't believe that it's enough of us women that's stepping up, that have the information to teach from the many different angles that I am willing to tackle. And I understand why, because it's very biased against women. We live in a world that's very biased against women when we have information. That is one thing that I do like about the Nation of Islam. They're not as biased when it comes. I'm not talking about a male individual. I mean, I noticed that they're not as biased when it comes down to the wisdom that God has given the woman. And so that is a really good thing. I humbly thank God for even though I was raised by a mother and grandparents that were and aunties that were wise in other areas outside of health and wellness, they were still humble enough for the most part to still be willing to reach out and to adhere to the information that I shared with them. And so to this day, most of them are still alive. The ones that didn't, they're not here anymore. So I encourage you all to be wise, do your own homework. Everything that I share is not meant to be the golden rod for yourself. However, I do know that if you try it, you will see some benefits. Those of you all that want to purchase and want to help to support, know that I still have moringa in stock for $25. This moringa, let me tell you the benefits of it when you are intermittent fasting, because you're not doing a complete fast if you're eating a meal throughout the day. So this way, this can take the pressure off for some of my brothers and sisters that's religious, that's believing that you're going against something and wondering why you're struggling. It's because you're eating the wrong foods. But some of us need those extra helps from herbs and different supplements to help us along the way, to help make the process a little bit smoother, even with eating one meal a day, especially if you're eating meat and other toxic things. These things will still help you. And that would be the moringa. I'm going to tell you the benefits again of the powerful moringa. For those who are in the Cash App, information is there. For those who want to donate and for those who want to be able to purchase. And then you also can call in to the 618 number. And that also you can pay by phone, by card. That's the options that I have right now. The moringa is high in antioxidants. It normalizes the blood sugar. It supports in anti-inflammatory diseases like arthritis and all the other muscular sclerosis diseases and back pains and things of that nature. 1 tablespoon of it will help. I actually put some inside of my smoothie here, you all. I put some inside. I only did a teaspoon. As you all see, I did it in my smoothie cup. I poured it into my glass. That's what I did. And I drink that down. That's about a 16 ounce. And then I don't have to worry about anything else. I did add ginger, a little bit of lemon, a teaspoon of turmeric, and what else did I add to there? Mango and papaya. Yeah. And we'll get on that again for next following Wellness Wednesday. We'll tackle that as well. Okay, the benefits of the powerful moringa, it helps to stimulate hair growth. Yes, I witnessed that, even though I cut all my split ends. So, I can promise you that with taking this, it most definitely help keep your hair. And yes, I'm 49, and you all see I have not a gray. I've never used black dye in my life, and it helps keep the hair healthy and growing. Um, I know a lot of people, that's women and different ones that's my age and stage, just living in America, that have a lot of grays, but you understand that it is what you eat that determines whether or not you have it. Some people have a inherited gene where they get it, but in most cases, if grays come, that's a sign of stress within the body, and that you do need to practice fasting, and you do need to start eating healthier. Okay, so I have no grays at all in my body, my armpit, and the other thing is not none of your business. But no grays. Okay. And I do contribute that to eating healthy as well. And then also it helps to improve the digestive system. It is the fact that even in How to Eat to Live Part 2, it discussed how most of the people in America and all over have an issue with eating the food until liquid form, to where you can properly digest it, just so you can even get the nutritional benefits that you can get from it. That is a problem. Moringa for $25. Thank you so much. Yes, that's exactly what I'm stating. I don't have much in stock, you all, so get it while you can get it. All right. And then it says it's an anti-ulcer. We got so many people that's in ulcer. You all say you want things convenient. You don't have to go in line. You wait for this to come in the mail wherever you are. You don't have to go through a long drive-in line to be able to get nothing to eat. You don't have to go to the grocery store to go and try and buy and purchase nothing and then wait to try to prepare it. You got it. You sprinkle it in the smoothies, sprinkle it, get it wet, but put it in your drink, your food. It don't get no better than that. You can get a little Ziploc bag or a little container, carry it with you wherever you are. Sprinkle it there. That it is highly beneficial in that way. Now, of course, you benefit more when you're eating only fruits and vegetation. You get all of the benefits if you want to take this with you, okay? Instead of just 50 to 60%. It's good for detoxification. It helps to improve wound healing for those who have surgery or those who have leaky gut syndromes and things of that nature. It helps with that. And the most important thing, especially during fasting, is that it is an appetite suppressor. Some of you all like the millet tea herbs, and then you like the spearmint herbs. All those are good for helping for those of you all that's doing 1 meal a day and you're not used to doing it, or you are fasting during this month, to get appetite suppressors. You can also Google that too. Foods that are considered appetite suppressors, and that'll help you to get through your fast too. And you still will be able to work throughout the day. Well, what about the headaches that I get? That's your parasites bothering you. You let them know that you the boss. You're going to do what I say do. Intermittent fast. I'm going to read this part and go in from there. And then we'll get to the CMOS. Intermittent fasting, if is eating pattern where your cycle where you cycle between periods of eating and fasting, not eating. Ultimate intermittent fasting also includes healthy foods that should be consumed, but it is just as important as considered a consumption. I had to write this in my notes to put it in my phone. Of all of the buzzworthy diets options, such as the keto, the Dunkin', and the paleo diet, intermittent fasting, if is correctly one of the world's most popular health trends, and that has garnered much attention for good reasons throughout history. Fasting has been part of many people's lives, whether for personal, spiritual, or religion reasons, or simply because they did not have access to food. So even when you have access to food, when you don't have access to food, learning how to fast helps you with that as well. For those who say it's too expensive, fast. That'll it'll open up your mind for clarity and how to make money, how to do things that you need to do so that you have, but not if you're only thinking about not having food. Scientific evidence shows how powerful intermittent fasting is to our health, weight, metabolic health, and aging. A multitude of benefits may be had from fasting, including the increase of insulin sensitivity, fat loss, including belly fat, improves cholesterol profiles, increase growth hormones, HGH productions, and improve gut health. There you go, you all. All right. So it tells you right there. We're going to give you the types of methods so that you all can see the types of intermittent fasting. They have the 12.12 method, meaning fasting 12 hours each day by only eating between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. If you call in for your $25 consultation, I can show you how to get started with that and what kind of foods that would be more beneficial for you so you can reap some of these benefits that I just shared with you. And then you have what you call the 16.8 method. Fast for 16 hours each day by only eating between noon and 8 p.m. Then you have the eat, stop, eat once or twice a week. Don't eat anything from dinner one day until dinner the next day. That's a 24-hour fast, you all. That would be a fast, actually. And then you have what they have, the 5.2 diet during 2 days of the week, eating only about 500, 600 calories. I'm not a calorie counter like that because everybody's body is different, and because we burn body fat and calories, or so-called calories, but we burn it. What it is mostly focused on body fat from eating meat or artificial foods or too much yeast and bread. That's what I focus on. And so therefore, that would be determined how much you work, how much energy you burn off according to your body type. So I can't get caught up in the calorie count, you all, but I just put it there because I know that that is what they have saturated our minds with, is that we all got to watch out for all these calories for those who only want to fast just to lose weight. It automatically happens when you push back the plate, is what I'm saying. It's impossible to overeat when you're not overeating. See how common sense that makes? If you only eat one meal a day, it's impossible to eat unless you're mukbanging. And you all have seen them where they put them in front of a whole bunch of food in front of the person's face, and then they stuff their face with it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a wholesome meal. Okay? Because a portion of your day will be spent fasting, it's important to think strategically about ways to incorporate adequate nutrition. Eating a diet, which I call a healing, that is high in refined carbohydrates, such as flour and sugars, refined oils, such as soy and vegetable oils, too little intake of proteins, a lack of vegetations. This is what they like to include these things, and unhealthy snacks such as chips will only undo the healthy benefits you gain from fasting. And that's what I encountered living with a vegan that would eat all of these things, the carbohydrates, such as flour and sugar and refined oils, soy, and all of these other artificial vegetations. And they would take in little protein, meaning no avocados, no other healthy, other beneficial things, and then eat a little bit of a herb and a very low quality of vitamins, and they thought they could continue fasting, and they didn't know what their struggle was. With me operating as their health and wellness coach, they would listen sometimes, but not enough. And so when you're dealing with bullheaded people, stubborn people, or people that think that they know it because they did have their own knowledge, this is still, once again, this is how you get people that's teaching about health and wellness, whether they be a minister or whether they be a nutrition or whether they be a doctor. This is why you all see a lot of them being very, very unhealthy and seeming stressed out and not being able to make it through the process, is because they too were practicing this right here, where they think that they can just fast it off, but yet they can, long as I'm not eating meat, but yet consuming all of this soy and consuming all of these flours and all of this refined sugars, the proteins and the lack of vegetables, and then snack such as chips. Chips is always the number one to go for snacks, and popcorn. Benefits you gain from fasting. Eating the wrong foods will counter the benefits of intermittent fasting. So even when you're eating one meal a day, if when you decide to eat, brothers and sisters, people, my people, when you decide to eat one meal a day, even with one meal a day, which is not an actual fast, you wind up not reaping the benefits because you're not eating a good, healthy, wholesome meal. And this is the reason why you find it so hard to get through it. Well, this is the reason why I provide consultations on how you can start implementing healthier foods so that the struggle is not so hard for those who have the mind to fast, whether it be for 3 days, whether it be for a week, whether it be for a month, okay? And that information stays between us. I don't pick up the phone and call your spiritual leader and say, hey, did you know such and such? And no, we don't do that. We don't do that. Just in case that's a concern for some. What shall I eat while intermittent fasts? So now you know when to eat. You may wonder what you can eat during the intermittent fasting windows. Many of the intermittent fasting methods mean you may inadvertently be missing out on specific micronutrients such as proteins and healthy fats, and micronutrients such as vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and electrolytes. And this is another reason why so many cannot master fasting, because you still, once you start to eat, whether you've done it 1 meal a day, or whether you've done it 3 meals a day, or whether you have done it. So for those of you all that hung into here this time, please like and share. Give these pieces to some of your spiritual brothers and sisters that's having a struggle with their fasting. And then you can give them my number where they can call in. The email address is Dr. Chef Wellness, Health and Wellness at gmail.com. And then I'm going to share with them how and why it's such a struggle. You all still need these, and I would direct you to get healthy vitamins for those that don't mind taking them, and Indian healthy foods that you can take that possesses these still that we do have left. Okay, it's important to ensure you are eating a full and satisfying meal. That's important if you're going to do it, you all, because the mind is a great trickster. When you feel like you haven't, then that's another problem. Now it's not the time to engage in low carb eating at this time, and you see a lot of people that do that. The goal is to get all of your nutrition from fewer meals. Here are the top foods to eat while fasting. Here it come, y'all. Down to the good part. This is where we're ending, because I didn't see a lot of questions. Thank you so much, Sister Jamaica. Proteins is vital to your overall health, immune health, and to ensure your maintain muscle mass. Muscular is necessary to optimize blood sugar. I know a lot of men are concerned about that. So also to balance your blood sugar and to keep your metabolism high. Lack of muscles can promote weight gain, higher blood sugar, and and your fragility. So meaning it can make you frail and fragile. Remember to include cultured protein foods. Some people, for those who don't do dairy, then we don't recommend. You can do non-dairy products, the kefir and things of that nature. Some do still eat dairy. So for our people that's still doing the dairy, then I tell you what you shouldn't be doing. You should not be eating store-bought dairy that comes from cows and other things that's been injected with chemicals and hormones, and now it's been injected with the shot that they are now openly admitting that they are doing. This is a reason why you would be struggling too. But however, I know they call it the protein food. So a lot of you think that this is where your proteins come from. And this is the reason why the American diet is considered the American satanic diet, the ultimate protein source. And this is what they have for you all. So I'm counteracting these, you all. This is the reason why I wrote this down and put it into my notes. I'm counteracting salmon because of the pollution that we have in the salmon. I'm counteracting your eggs. This is the reason why you see the recall now for eggs. Somebody is suing. I'm counteracting your ribeye steaks that they say is your protein, your pork chops that they leave out conveniently, how the trichinoid worms alone will multiply. They like baby kids. They multiply. They don't die. And this is the reason why you see a lot of Muslims and people that do not practice it, because it does make it much more challenging for you to be able to push back the plate fast and to be healthy. Those trichinoid worms is no joke. Do you hear me? Okay, chicken thighs. That's where they inject most of the hormones and everything inside of your big chicken thighs, your cottage cheese, your plain yogurts, your kefirs, your whey protein powders that is causing impotence and is actually helping to promote ED in our men, and that's not helping you to really truly get muscles. It's making you have to work harder in the gym for those that are athletes that believe in taking this whey protein and the soy protein. Just for the record, how you know, Dr. Chef? Because I coached enough of our men to know better, and our women that was doing it. Pea protein powder, that is what's in a lot of our so-called vegan fake meat, without the added sugar. It is not original, it's not authentic. The legumes, you can't be eating all these different kind of beans, and most people are not even consuming them right. You won't cook them right in the first get, and then you try to consume too many of them, and then you wonder why you're gassy. And then last but not least, the deception of our adversary. They would put the nuts and the seeds down there last, when in actuality mostly all your good healthy proteins will come from your avocados and all of your papayas, all of your mangoes, all of your most healthiest foods, actually, and highest protein intake will come from your fruit, which some of us call vegetation. What, Dr. Chef? Yeah, let's go down the list. Your sources of healthy fats, they're gonna put in there, but yet they put it in the form of the olive oils in the oils, because that's where they make the most money off of, is by extracting it. So think about it. If you're gonna tell me that to get the oil from me is good, but not the actual fruit, something is wrong. Your actually fatty, highest proteins come from your avocado, your actual real pitted olives, your coconut. Yeah, I said it. Chia seeds, your flax seeds, sprinkling into your food, you all, your oatmeals and everything that you're doing. That's when your highest form of protein coming in. Do your homework, you see. Okay, the foods that are enriched in when you are intermittent fast and eating one meal a day: spinach, char, arugula, broccoli, colored cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, your dark red and purple cabbages, celery, asparagus, but not too much, because it will give your older ladies, it will cause your bowel movement to stench with the asparagus. So I prefer the peas would be the best. And your seaweeds. Leads me to right here, you all. This is part of your seaweed, the powerful sea moss, for only $30 this month, you all. It's called the mucus destroyer for a reason. I'm thankful and highly thankful that my sister, my blood sister, just called me in with all her multiple conditions and told me that she finally took her sea moss and put it in the water, and she just sipped on it. She was afraid to try some because she's always gone through so much. And she called me today crying, saying how she feels so much better and how it's taken away her craving from smoking and all different type of things that she was doing that was causing her from the prescription drugs that was causing her to have a setback. And so I'm telling you now, you be on the lookout for that testimony, because we will be sharing that. But this is the powerful sea moss that I have. And yes, you can order. You can call by phone and pay by phone with card or through Cash App. $30, you all. Fruits. What is your best fruits? To welcome the source of nutrition, and I'm almost done, y'all. 6:13. However, choosing the low medium sugar fruits is important, as in an excess amount of fruit sugar, fructose, can promote metabolic health issues and undo many other benefits occurring if you're, and that is their opinion. But here goes my counteraction. Best fruits to choose for intermittent fasting. It used to be strawberries, but here in America, I don't recommend. Raspberries, the organic form. Blackberries, the organic form. Kiwi, the organic version. Grapefruits, be careful. All natural grapefruits. If you're going to do it, apples, the all natural grapefruits with apples with seed. Lemons, your lemons with seed. Limes, your limes with seed. Avocados, there we go, you all. Did you not know it's not just at the highest ratio of protein and alkaline foods for 13.9 last I checked. It also is considered a fruit, not a vegetation. And your homegrown tomatoes, for those who can consume it, take the seeds out and go to town. Okay. Oh, well, wait a minute, Dr. Chef, you left out our grains. Be careful with your grains. All labeled millet, quinoa, brown rice, black wild rice, all those rices we have to be careful. It's loaded with all different types of pesticides. There is no regulation, unfortunately, y'all, for the rice. Why do you think that we wind up cooking it and boiling it to death just to be able to consume it? But if you do, those would be the ones that would be less likely to harm you as much. And I don't recommend no more than a little bit for those of you all that are on the path to trying to learn how to eat to live at its most optimal health. Then these would be the ones that you would go for, but be very, very careful with how much of that you consume. All right. I didn't get to the beans on purpose, you all, because the time is of the essence. I appreciate you all that tune in. Thank you so much, Sister Jamaica. Now, do you have the powder? No, we're going to have to granulate the powder for the sea moss. If you have a Vitamix, you can granulate that, you all. I have the actual real sea moss in its natural form, where you can put it inside of your smoothie, your salad, your soups, and your food, and be good. But if you have a Vitamixer, because it is dry, you can go ahead and granulate it down into a more powder form for those of you all that want that. All right. And then also don't forget, for you all that need that note that this is good for mucus for your flu season. Actually, let me make sure I share that before the end for those who may not or may have forgotten. It's good for this for antidepressant, immune support, promoting healthy thyroid function, promotes heart health, fights infections. It helps to fight the free radicals, promote healthy vision. It also helps with female hormonal balance. So you women that are going through hot so-called hot flashes and so-called menopause, there you go. Enhances male health libido. So men that suffering from ED, sea moss. And then also it helps. Did I say fight infection? Yes, it helps to fight infections. And so that's what all my sea moss does for you all. And so I highly recommend for you all to go in and purchase that. I also have colloidal silver in stock, you all, through Retta Helps. And it is $30, you all. So you want to call in for the extra mucus. For those of you all that don't want to do herbs and you don't want to try seaweed, then I do have a liquid that tastes like water that will blow your mind. But more importantly, you will be able to blow out that extra mucus that's in your system. Anybody suffering with sinus issues, any type of inflammation throughout your thyroid glands, anything that is good for the skin, is good for the hair, good for your eyesight. My goodness, goes on and on and on. Only for $30, you all. Call in and get your blessing. And don't forget that I did recommend, for some of you all that don't know, there is gold too. We have a liquid gold instead of just colloidal silver. It's like colloidal gold. I got this in 19 Keys, you all. If you all go to his channel, this is good. I have used this even when I didn't use my colloidal silver, or if I went on a fast. Oh, this is excellent, you all. So you might want to check that out. Go to 19keys.com and they have the liquid gold. You want to purchase you some of that. Okay. And then I highly have recommended also for those of you all that want to cleanse, the Salva. Go online. You can get that online now, anywhere online now, for the good health for yourselves. And it's a product from Mataganda, and it's made from the Salva. If you get the leaf, it's even just as much powerful. You can put it in your tea leaf container and steep the leaf. Then that's just as powerful. And so that's all I have for you all. I made it through. I know you all. It's a lot. But we made it through. Cut up in sections. Please like and share, you all. That helps me go on and watching you all. Subscribe for free while you can. Because after a while, they're going to start making us have to charge you all. So go ahead and subscribe and like and share to anybody that you think that would that this information would help support. And don't forget to call in via text into the 618-388-8100. And then for those of you all that want to email me in, and yes, I know you all like, oh, Dr. Chef as well. So y'all didn't ask as many questions this time. I appreciate you for giving me the time to get through that. But next Wednesday is on. And yes, I'm still working on seeing can I clear my schedule to come back in for Friday, for a Fruitful Friday. Okay, I'm working on it, y'all. I'm doing my best. At some point, I'm going to be able to do it. I'm putting in my email. And if you still have any questions while I'm doing this, I will answer it. I will go over a bit. I have class at 7:30, so I believe so. I will have to get out of there here for sure and make sure I'm warming up the truck because it is cold winter. Lots of snow out here where I'm at, you all. And we did have that snowstorm. Yes, we did. We got barricaded in. And I'm thankful I had a brother that helped me. So I didn't have to go out to the cold. Yay. Yay for our strong black men. I didn't have to worry about that. It says somebody respects and cares. Thank God for that. Okay. They're going to email information you all for Dr. Shelf Health and Wellness at gmail.com. And then I'm going to put the other one there for those who are that need it a little shorter. I have a Dr. Shelf 1798 at gmail.com as well. I thought I put that in there, but I see I didn't. There we go. Know that I love you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know it was a lot. However, you take your time out, get it in sections. I'm sure it'll be something that you find that would be helpful to you all. I know it's helped me all throughout my years, down throughout the years. Just know that I love you all with on my whole heart. I really do. And I appreciate you all for your support. Sister Jamaica and everyone else. Thank you all for the donations. Sister Candy, Cherry, the ones that sent in donations. Everything, every bit helps for me to get the foundation started. I will be sharing books, which you can wait to get my book in for those who all have children with autism. Please, you all, Sister Jamaica is in the chat. Call and make sure that you get the information from her. And Sister Jamaica, you get time, you can put your information in the chat as well. So we can't forget that. So I'll stay on enough time for you to put that in if you like. And then that way we're promoting that because we got some other books that's on the way from some of our brothers and sisters that's writing books that's very helpful for us during this time so that we can continue to survive and thrive in 2025, you all. All right. Question above the email. There is a question beyond the email. Okay. I still have some flakes. How did your sister use it as a tea? Actually, she put it in a bottle of water. She had some bottled water and she soaked it. She let it set for about 30 minutes, a few minutes to the design, and she just been sipping on it. She also had the powder form as well. And so that's the way she explained it to me. So you can put in and just chuck-a-lug it down. You know, me, I like to take mine in with any of my cooked dishes, my salads, when it gets wet into my homemade dressing, and I like to put it into my smoothie. I'm just now getting to a place to where I will chew on it now from time to time when I want something to chew on while I'm waiting to prepare my meal. I will do that too. Yeah, I will do that too. So you all just know that it's multiple ways. This is the benefit of the consultations when you have questions. Remember, there's no dumb questions to me. It's just sometimes there's questions that are forgotten. I know there are some that gets upset with you all when you all do that and be like, these people should know better. But I know better in knowing that our people have a lot of distractions. And life happens, and to gather in a lot of this information, it takes time. It's literally like going back to school. And so I fully understand that. And so just note when you call in, there is no questions that you cannot ask that I'm going to feel like they should know, that you should know better. No, because they didn't teach. Most of us didn't get taught any better. And then even if it's a new thing for you, you don't know what you don't know. All right. But what you don't know can hurt you. it can take us out of here. So it's important for us to take advantage of that and make sure. And if you know anyone that needs assistance, that need a consultation, and you want to pay for it, then do that for your brother and sister. You all, each one, you need me, I need you, we need one another. We all have to. We're in this together. We're in this together. All right. Yes, no, okay. I tried with the smoothie, but it's chunky. Yeah, well, if you soak it, for me, yeah, I'm past that point of it. Oh no, that used to means that you have to grind. I grind mines a couple of times actually. I don't just put mine on one, just in case you haven't considered it. I put mines and I blend mines at least 2 or 3 times until I get that smooth texture. And also I add water. So just for the record, I do add water to my fruit when I don't want it thick. So with this being papaya and mango and ginger, and you don't have to use raw honey if you don't have it. It's perfectly, it's going to get the job done without it, because these things are sweet by themselves, just for the record. And so when you do that, add the water to it, it'll help it to become more soft for as far as your flakes, Sister Jamaica. And then you want to grind and grind and grind. And then you get to a place where if we can take in peels and other things that we don't always chew properly, then that's how it's smooth enough. It'll go down your throat. We just can't overthink the process. That's all. All right. All right, great. Sister Jamaica put in her information for a new book, you all. Please go buy it, purchase it for a friend, or at least share the information with someone that you know that have special needs children. Her book is very highly inspirational. I can't wait to read from it and do a segment for mothers and parents and caregivers that have special needs children. It's a powerful testimony that she has in there. And so I want you all to help each other, be a support to one another. We always talk about how us as Black, especially so-called Black people, don't support each other enough. Then do it then. You be the example and how to support one another. Support her. All her proceeds go into making sure that both her sons are healthy and well. I know, because she's invested in a lot of products and things that we have to do here, and she's taking out her busy time and schedule. You can only imagine. I have one special needs child, so I know how tough that is. But then just imagine having two. So you all, if you care about mothers, you care about those who have an extra load, then please go and support or give her a donation to her cause and to her taking out the time and and expressing all her love and her help and support that she's trying to help to bring awareness to other mothers and people that are taking care of loved ones that have special needs. Go and support her, please. I'm not begging. I'm just humbled about it. Go and support her. I promise you, your blessing will come back double fold. I promise you. I'm not going to tell you that you're not cursed if you don't, because I don't believe in that. But what I do believe in is that it's up to us to be the example that we need to be. It may be something that you may create, and you may put all your blood, iron, hurt, work, sweat in, and you want somebody to support you. And it's not just for her, it's others. Those you all that are doing good things, you got healthy soaps, you got good natural things. I don't mind you sharing your information. I just like for you to ask me and let me know what's in your product so that I know that it's good before I present it to my people, okay? It's enough room for all of us. It's not enough of us doing this to make a world of a difference. And I mean that. And so therefore, just note that that offer is for you all. We just ask that you support and you give a donation when you can, so that I can keep this channel going, okay? All right. I love you all. You all take care of yourself. Don't forget, it's www.disabledtwins.com, you all, for Sister Jamaica and the information that she provides. And it is on Amazon. So you get a chance to get a brief read in there as well. You all take care of yourself. And remember, let's thrive to survive in 2025.